Hey, happy Wednesday evening. I say evening because it's 9 o'clock here in Boise, and you can see it's still light. We got another hour or so before it gets dark. But anyway, I saw today that 1 billion identities were stolen today. That's right, 1 billion identities were stolen. That includes every single American, every single one of you. So if you're watching this video right now, a criminal, a hacker, has your social security number and probably your date of birth, probably your address and your phone number. And most likely, if you have good credit, they're going to be stealing, in quotes, stealing your identity, because no one steals your identity. They just commit mortgage fraud, credit card fraud, or bank fraud. So they're not like stealing your identity. They're just borrowing your identity, committing fraud in your name. And if you're uneducated, ignorant, lazy, you'll end up getting stuck with that bill. So here's what you do to prevent identity theft. It's really simple. You go to Equifax.com, Experian.com, and TransUnion.com/freeze. And you freeze your credit report. Now, I don't know if you know anything about the credit reporting laws, like the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1970 and how it came about. So if you want a little history lesson, here it is. The banks and the credit bureaus back in the 60s were committing racist actions, and they were purposely lying primarily on Mexican and African American, people of color's credit reports. The Democrats encouraged this. The Democrats supported this. And why is that? Because it's the banks, the credit bureaus, and the collection companies that donate hundreds of millions of dollars to political campaigns. And it wasn't until 1970s when the Republicans, not the Democrats, just like most of the racist laws out there, most of the equal opportunity laws out there, were all pushed through and voted for by Republicans. 100% of the Republicans voted for the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and very few of the Democrats actually did. Why? Well, it is, after all, the Democratic Party that started the Ku Klux Klan, if you didn't know this. So I digress. So anyway, in the 60s, thousands and thousands of people were complaining that the credit bureaus were being racist, lying, and discriminating against them, so they couldn't buy homes. Because the rich white folks, mainly of Atlanta, Georgia, where Equifax is headquartered, didn't want blacks moving into their neighborhoods. So they had Equifax, which used to be called a retail company, lie and cheat so the blacks could not move into their neighborhoods. Well, eventually the Republicans in Congress in 1970 created the Fair Credit Reporting Act that said that you can't do this anymore. They still do it, but it was such a disgrace for the retail company, they changed their name to Equifax, which stands for Everyone's Equal and It's Just the Facts. Google it, look it up. So anyway, so for the past now 54 years, the Democrats have been doing everything possible to shut down credit repair companies, to stop it and make it to where you can't fix your own credit. For example, in Georgia, thanks to Equifax, again, the racist company, they've lobbied and they passed laws in Georgia that if you are a Georgia resident, a person of color, it is illegal for you to hire someone to fix your credit. Did you know that? Think about that. In Georgia, if you are black or a person of color and you hire someone to fix your credit, they can be thrown in jail. Yes, that's the law. Look it up. Anyway, today, 1 billion identities were stolen. Every single American has their social security number, date of birth, address, and phone number on some hacker's website. What can you do to prevent identity theft? So you go to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian.com/freeze. Now, up until recently, you would have to pay about $80 to do this. Why? Because the Democrats, again, not trying to get political here, guys. I'm just stating the facts. The Democrats would not or they fought on behalf of the credit bureaus that you couldn't get this for free. And the orange man with the horrible comb over said, look, this isn't fair. These multi-billion-dollar companies are essentially stealing your identity, holding it, and then they charge you to protect your identity. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. So the orange man with the really bad comb owner changed the Fair Credit Report Act that allows you and me and every other U.S. citizen to log into Experian.com, Equifax.com, TransUnion.com/freeze and apply a freeze to the credit report without having to pay the $80 that you used to have to pay. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, when you freeze your credit report, no one can access your credit report. So even if they have your social security number, your date of birth, your credit cards, your phone number, they can't access your credit report because you froze it. Isn't that cool? So if you want to protect yourself from the identity thieves, go to the credit bureau's websites, /freeze, file a freeze, create a PIN that you'll remember. I recommend like your address to your home, your cell phone number, and maybe your birthday and social security number combined. That way it's a number you won't forget. And then by doing that, you can freeze or unfreeze your credit report as many times as you want, as often as you want, and not have to pay for it. And once you freeze that credit report, they can't access your credit. I recommend you do this anyway, regardless if there was a hack or not. I've been doing it for years. I recommend my clients do it. And it's the number one way that you, for free, can make sure you're not a victim of identity theft. Now, if you are a victim of identity theft, it's actually one of the easiest things to fix if you know how to do it. But let's say you're not a victim of identity theft. You just have bad credit because you didn't pay your bills. Look, I want to give you a second chance. The Fair Credit Reporting Act that the Republicans passed in the 1970s allows people, especially people of color, a second chance to fix their credit. Now, I know I keep saying the Democrats. Listen, Joe Biden's administration, one of the very first things they did when Joe Biden got into office was he went after Lexington Law, the largest credit bureau, the largest credit repair company in the world, shut them down, fined them $3.4 billion for helping primarily black people fix their credit. $3.4 billion. Last month, they fined FES $12 million. And last week, they fined Credit Repair Cloud $3 billion. Why? Primarily, you can read it, primarily because Dan was helping people of color fix their credit. The Biden administration went after them through the CFPB and the Federal Trade Commission and fined them millions of dollars. And in Lexington's case, $3.4 billion. So keep that in mind, who you vote for. Do you really want to vote for someone that is trying to suppress, hold you down, make it so you can't protect yourself from identity theft? Or do you want to get your credit fixed? And the Republicans want to give you a second chance. That's why they passed the Fair Credit Reporting Act and why they, every time they get into power, they change it again, making it more fair for all of us. So if you have bad credit and you want to get it fixed and you're still watching this video, send me a DM, comment on the video or whatever, and I'll send you a link to my free credit workshop. I do it every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, which I just got finished doing it, where I teach people how to increase their credit score for free so they can have the life that they desire versus the life by default. So if you're sick of having bad credit, sick of being paycheck to paycheck, sick of paying too much in income taxes, sick of not having enough money for retirement, comment on the video that you want the link to my next week's workshop, or you can go to fortressmoney.com. That's fortressmoney.com. Just sign up. It's free next week, fortressmoney.com. Have a good day. Don't forget to freeze your credit file.